Hampshire, Bill Kaufold.
Okay, and Steve comes in averaging 126, 670, his roll-off score. Bill Kaufold at 125, 668. All the averages are very close. All the roll-off scores are very close.
The runners-up, I should say, will take home second-place prize money of $400. The winners will share $800. And the winners also, of course, automatically qualify to the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions coming up in the spring. We'll have more details on that and the first of our 3 strings of doubles bowling right after these messages. Don't go away. All right, again, here are the scores, how the 10 bowlers got here for this series on Stars and Strikes Doubles. Again, the bowlers compete individually. You see Dave Richardson, Tom O'Brien, the last 2 to qualify. Notice how tight the scores are bunched. The final roll-off was held at the Dover Bowling Center. Moved to the top 5 now, and you can see that it was quite close in the top 5 as well. Only 9 pins separating number 1 through number 5. Of course, the top 4 are the 4 guys who are still remaining here on the program. Bob Kelly, Larry Valcourt, 3 and 4. Steve Vadney, Bill Kaufold, 1 and 2, and that's the way they stack up as teams, the number 1 team and the number 2 team for the championship here on Stars and Strikes Doubles today. Larry Valcourt, the first ball of the match. You mentioned it'll be number 1 against number 2 again tomorrow as we wrap up championship weekend with our singles final. So we hope you'll join us tomorrow at noon for that one. It'll be Joe Ashline against Chris Sargent. And of course, we also hope that in addition to watching our bowling each Saturday and Sunday at noon, that you're catching programs immediately before ours here on The Winds.
Great lineup.
Absolutely. Saturday at 11:30, Sports Wrap with our good friends John Habib and Tom King. And then Sunday morning at 11:30, the High School Sports Review with Jim Rivers and Tony Carnevale. Immediately preceding bowling, both Saturday and Sunday here on The Winds. Well, Larry opened with a 9, and now he's looking at a half Worcester. Playing it inside, a little too light, but ooh, he almost got away with it. And it's a 10. 19 opening pair for the team.
And now for the team of Vadney and Kaufold, Billy Kaufold from Milford, New Hampshire will start it off on lane 30.
Right on the head pin. A little flush.
3, 6, 7. Piece of wood in between the 3 and the 6.
Bill was just with us several weeks back in singles competition. He lost to Tom Morgan back in October. He starts with a 10. Bill from Milford, New Hampshire. He's back on the head pin again, this time for a spare leave. And there's the spare.
First mark of the match. And the early lead.
Now Bob Kelly. Did he put on a show last week? This pin may come all the way back to him. Cindy Sissom may have to go stop it before
it kills somebody.
Bob trips over it on the approach.
Look out, crowd. Here it comes.
When it's finally cleared away, Bob will be looking at the 6, 7, and 9. For the spare, ooh, he was trying to clip the end of that wood and he just slipped past it. He'll take the 10 box instead.
Bob Kelly cleared a piece of wood, and the ball jumped onto the plate and rolled right between the 6 and the 10. Never touched either one of them. Brought the crowd alive.
We'll see. These guys know when they don't want to hit anything,
Sure.
they don't hit it.
He wants to hit the 5-pin on the right-hand side right now.
Too far right. And it's a 9. So Kelly and Valcourt still looking for their first mark. And now a guy who's had a lot of marks here on the wins, Steve Vadney, holds the record for most appearances here on the programs. This will be his 48th. He also holds the record for the most wins. He has 31. He's the only guy with more than 30. That was a 4-fill on the spare that Bill Kaufold left for him, and now Steve's trying to work it out here. And an 8.
32, and just a 3-pin advantage now. Get the full effect of that spare with only 4 on it and 8 in the box.
Last time Steve was with us was in the doubles tournament of champions back in May. He and Brian Fuller were the number 2 seeded team, and they lost to Chuck Godzik and Peter Flynn in the semifinals. So just 1 pin the difference after the first 4. We've seen all the bowlers now.
Let's see him again. Four horsemen plus the 9-pin. 4 horsemen left for Larry Valcourt.
Yes. Oh, yes, sir.
Well, they finally got a mark on the board.
And it was a pretty good one at that. Worth another look. And we're going to have Larry re-rack because the 9-pin is missing. Quickly pointed out by about 12 different people in the gallery.
Okay, we'll re-rack. Get testy about it. It's in the back.
It's gone now.
That's right.
9 fill. And back-to-back spares for Larry Valcourt. Bill Kaufold now. Bill's back on the head pin, but got too much of it.
1, the 5, and the 9. Spread eagle plus the 8-pin. Not an easy spare.
Oh, how about it one time for Bill? Almost.
Pretty close. Just leaving the 2-pin.
Bill is left with the 1 and the 7. Bill lives in Milford, New Hampshire with his wife Sheila. Bill works as the general manager of the Friendlies on Amherst Street in Nashua. Does a lot of his bowling at the King Lanes in Manchester and at the Londonderry Bowling Center. So it's a 10-pin lead for Kelly and Valcourt, plus the fill on this spare. And Bob will have to re-rack there with lane 30. The 8-pin was missing.
Who's stealing these pins?
Why is it always the pins in the back that are missing?
I don't know. Strange. Just overshooting the tube that releases the pins.
Oh, they're all missing now.
3 in a row now. 2 spares and a strike. Must be something about that re-rack. 9-pin drop last time they had to do it. This time a strike.
And
oh boy.
The kick out on the 10.
Just the 2 and the 4 left, trying to make it 4 marks in a row for the team of Kelly and Valcourt. Put it down.
Yes. 4 marks in a row after 4 open frames to start the match.
Missed it last week. 2, 4, 6, 10. Bob Kelly had left, and he threw the ball and leaped about a foot in the air as soon as he let it go. And I asked him about that, and he says, "I just feel real sharp. I just knew it was going to go when I threw the ball."
Oh, I thought you were going to ask him about his vertical leap. I thought that's what you were asking about.
Well. Bob's a good-sized fella, too, to get off the ground like that. What really upsets me is I can't get that high.
No, neither can I. In a long time. 2 jumps, I couldn't get that high. Steve Vadney with a tough 7 box. Trying to.
He's had a few tough boxes. 8 and 7 last time up. This time starts with a 7.
Playing the V and gets robbed. 10-pin won't go. And it's a 9 box.
Wow.
Steve a little off target so far. Both Bill and Steve having trouble getting started here.
They actually had a 3-pin advantage at one time. Now they're trailing by 34, and it's going to be more than that when Larry throws this ball.
Fill ball on the spare, and look out, look out. It's a 9. Getting encouragement from Bob Kelly behind him. And slipping by. Missing the single. That wood not frozen. Goes harmlessly into the pit. And it's still there. 125 through 9.
They just threw 78 pins in those 4 boxes, 5 through 8.
Not a bad break for Larry, considering where the first ball went, but he'll shoot at the 178. Nope, not quite. So it'll be a bit of an opening for Bill Kaufold in the final 2 of this first game. Trying to cut into a 43-pin deficit. 135 for Kelly and Valcourt to start this match.
Well, 2 open frames. Billy Kaufold could almost cut this lead in half with a couple marks. But if nothing else, it'd be a little confidence booster. Right now, not getting much off that first ball.
And it'll be a 9. Well, a mark would cut the lead under 40. Good pocket hit that time for Bill.
Just the 5.
Tough spare leave to have when you know you need.
And you haven't had one since the second frame.
He's right there, though. Spare in the 10th. Second mark for the team. And the fill is 8 for 100 even for the team of Vadney and Kaufold. A 35-pin advantage for our number 2 seeds, Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt. It's championship weekend here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. We'll be back with Game 2 in a minute. Steve Vadney will lead off Game 2 here on Stars and Strikes Doubles Championship Weekend. Hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving holiday. Of course, yesterday, traditionally the busiest shopping day of the year. Did you hit the malls yesterday?
No.
No. I'm with you. Why go when everybody's there?
That's right.
That's my philosophy.
If you're trying to hide from somebody, I guess that's time to go. But if you're going to go shopping, I don't know why they all go that day.
That's true, though. If you want to get lost in a crowd, that's a good day to do it. Steve with a 10 to start the game, looking for his first mark of the day, and he might get a shot at it here. Let's see. The 5 and the 10, but the wood is interesting.
He's going to have to turn that first piece of wood, I would say, and hopefully at the same time the ball doesn't fly by the 10 pin.
There you go. First mark for Steve, third for the team.
Tell me this crowd doesn't know.
Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt had 4 marks in the first game. They were all in a row, and there is a strike to start Game 2 for Bob Kelly.
Watch this replay. Watch quick on this replay now. Don't blink. Wow. It exploded off that ball.
Looking for another one, almost. The 4 pin stays.
Bob's in a great rhythm right now. Last week and this week, he just makes the game look awful easy when somebody's in a groove like this.
Bob, I think, was disappointed several weeks back when he missed out on a chance to win a singles championship.
Ooh.
Did not bowl particularly well that day, and coming back with a vengeance now here in this doubles series. He's a 10 for 29 through 2. Team already leading by 35. Bill Kaufold will have a spare leave.
That's 8 on the spare left by Steve Vadney. Looking at the 3-6. Trying to make it 2 in a row, and he's really got to tie some together.
Oh, yes. Nicely done. 2 in a row. First time they've been able to get back-to-back marks. Right back in the pocket again, and that close to a strike. Well, this is the same lead Bob Kelly just had a moment ago, except for Bill, it'll be a little bit easier. Nothing to it with the wood in front, and that's 3 marks in a row. That's what they need.
Yeah, they need a little offense, and you just got to hope it's catching to your partner now.
Larry Valcourt. Ooh, really pulled that one. Threw it hard. Half Worcester left. And yes, for the spare.
Half Worcester and then the spare.
Took a while.
Almost 2 pieces of wood almost stood it back up.
Oh, big fill. 9 drop. spare on the 5-pin, no. Slipping by.
So like his partner, both of them missing singles for spares. Could have very easily had 4 in a row.
Instead, when we come back, Steve Vadney and Bill Kaufold will be working on their 3rd mark in a row, trying to cut into this 36-pin deficit. Kelly and Valcourt in the lead. We'll be back in a minute.
Early in the match, but this is probably one of the more important balls, especially as Steve Vadney is concerned, because he's been struggling. He needs a good fill here and another mark to get him going.
Let's take a look from behind Steve Vadney on lane 30. That ball broke right nicely into the Brooklyn pocket, the 1-2.
3, 5, 6 triangle for Steve, trying to make it 4 in a row. No.
And it'll be a 9 bucks. A little full that time, and Steve almost got a break on the 2-pin. That wood turned a little bit too much for him, I think.
Yeah, it really did. Didn't give him. At first, it looked like he was going to have an angle to move everything left to right, but trying to cap the wood. So it's around be 2 opens now for the team of Vadney and Kaufold.
10. 83 through 6. Comes Bob Kelly again. Stand back. The way he's throwing, look out. Left with just the 4, but he's waiting for a piece of wood to either stop or roll off. There's what he's faced with. Covers it for the spare. So the Kelly Valcourt team has marked 3 straight times on lane 30, but not on lane 29 in this game. Well, you can forget about that. Strike on spare.
You heard somebody who was there for a doubt. No, there wasn't, because as soon as they let the ball go, Bob gave a little extra push with the fist. He knew it was in there. It's a big strike on spare, and they're off and running again. 88 already through 6, plus the 2 bonus balls coming.
And remember, that's with 2 missed spare opportunities in the 2nd and 4th.
Yes, wide open single pins. They could have had 6 marks in a row right now. Nice try by Billy Kaufold. $800 to the winning team, $400 to the runner-up team, and of course the winning team also moves into the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions, and we're going to be keeping a glance on the total score for our winning team. Remember, the only team that has qualified to this point put up a great score. 4 weeks ago, Ed Gerolman and Brian Fuller rolled a 430. Oh boy, no luck there on the 4 horsemen. 1, 3, and 6 went out of there like nothing, but 10-pin didn't. Be a 10 box, and 103 through 8. Not a bad game, but unfortunately the team they're bowling against has 88 plus 2 balls in the 6th, and they are leading by 35 coming into this game. Pushed it to 40 now, plus the fill. Wouldn't surprise me we get another strike. Just missed the head pin that time. 1, 2, 7, and 9.
This could go, though. Yes. Nice shot by Larry Valcourt. Spare on strike. 3 marks in a row for the team.
Kind of flush in the head pin. Watch the wood. Hit the wood behind the 2 pin. Kick forward for the 2 and the 7. And that is 5 marks out of 7 boxes. And again, we mentioned the 2 single pins that were missed in the 2nd and the 4th.
Seven on that mark.
It looks like the piece of wood that's angled to the left can sweep from left to right.
Or it could play the other wood.
Yeah, it could go right down the middle almost and have the ball carry him into the 5. Let's see what he tries to do.
The first method. I think you're right, Dan. I think either one would have worked. 4 marks in a row. Second time this match, Kelly and Valcourt have had 4 in a row.
And they are in cruise control right now, leading by 57.
They are on the way to a big score if they keep up this pace.
Two, 4, 7 for Steve Vadney. A piece of wood in between the 2 and the 4, and another piece behind the 2 and the 4.
Spare in the 9th. But as luck would have it, Dan, the 4 marks in a row for Kelly and Valcourt came directly opposite a 4-box drought for Vadney and Kaufold. Just 5 on the mark for Steve. Almost. Tough shot.
Well, they're going to be in the high 20s. Under ordinary conditions, that would be a pretty good game.
128. They only left 1 pin standing in that game. 228 through 2 for Vadney and Kaufold. 4 marks in a row as Bob Kelly fills a spare, and Bob's talking to himself after that one. I got to tell a funny story too. I almost forgot.
That reminds you of it?
Yeah.
Bob doesn't think that's very funny.
Several weeks back, first show of the season, in fact, Tim Lipke was on with us here on doubles, and of course Tim works here at the Londonderry Bowling Center, and he threw a 2-box, if you'll remember, and came up to me before the show and said, hey, he said, so many people came up to me and mentioned that 2-box to me. And I said, were you surprised? And he said, no, but he said, everybody said, boy, it made them feel good. And I said, well, that's why you did it, right, Tim? You wanted to make people feel good.
Right.
If he can do it, I guess I can do it too.
Unfortunately, a lot more people saw him do it.
$10 for Bob Kelly, 145, and a 2-game total of 280. The 52-pin lead for Kelly and Valcourt. 1 game to go to decide the championship, and we'll be back on Stars and Strikes Doubles in a minute. Welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center. Doug Brown with Dan Murphy. This is Game 3 of our championship match. Don't forget, our championship weekend continues. Tomorrow at noon, it'll be number 1 against number 2 again. Joe Ashline against Chris Sargent. Impressive debut for Chris Sargent last weekend.
Absolutely. And if you could have seen how nervous he was before we started, a big 418, but he was really, really nervous. Certainly didn't show it.
No, neither is Bob Kelly. He's not nervous. His team with a big lead, and he adds on another strike. No, Steve gets a little break there. It looked like a diamond, and now it's just the 5-pin.
Actually, the 9-pin fell from behind, knocked out the 3, and then the 6 left just the 5.
And there's the spare. Well, they got to have marks, and they got to have them in bunches. And what they really could use is some strikes, and they've yet to throw one. Steve Vadney and Bill Kaufold do not have any strikes in this match yet.
Steve just does not look comfortable up there at all. Really pushing the ball. It's a 5 fill on the spare, 4 horsemen plus the 9, but he's got some help in between the 1 and the 3. No.
Not enough in the corner.
Looking for the totals now. Ed Gerolman and Brian Fuller, the only team that's qualified so far for the Tri-State Doubles Tournament Champions, are at 430. So it would be a 150 game if Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt were to win this match. 150 to tie.
First 7 weeks here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, we've had 4 400 triples already. Well, Larry's working hard on this box. That's just a 4 fill on the strike. Oh, nice out. Took a chance. Of course, you can do that with a big lead, and he worked it out for a 9 box.
Of course, that's assuming that they win the match. If Steve Vadney and Bill Kaufold were to surpass that score, they need 201. No, 203 for the last game.
And we'd be getting awfully noisy in here if that were to happen.
That spare 5-10 didn't help their chances for that.
No.
3-6-4-7 for Larry. Still 3-6-4-7 for Larry.
And there they go, just like that. 1 ball too late. Heck of a shot, though. Right through the center for Bill Kaufold. Almost. Great effort.
Certainly was.
Only 7 pins separated these 4 guys in the roll-off. Again, the roll-offs for Stars and Strikes Doubles are held as singles roll-offs. Steve Vadney was number 1 at 670, then Bill Kaufold at 678. Bob Kelly, 668 rather, then Bob Kelly at 667, and Larry Valcourt at 663. And again, Bill is right through the middle. Well, he knew he had an opening here. With the 2 open frames by Larry, but
he's going to get it.
Oh, give it to him one time. No. Boy, he made 2 great efforts on those 2 splits, though, didn't he?
Certainly did. When things are going bad, you just don't make those anyways, even if you have a great try at it.
Well, they've cut 3 pins off the lead, but time is running out. Kelly and Valcourt lead by 49 with 6 to go. All right, 6 boxes to go in our championship match. Bob Kelly. A little to the right on that one. Bob looked like he might have slipped a bit. And no. Something that we talked about, I think, the last time, maybe more than a year ago, Dan, but I noticed it came up at the convention, the International Candlepin Bowling Association, again this past summer, but apparently it's pretty much a dead issue now, is the whole question of flat gutters.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of a dead issue. Gonna have to still bowl and knock them down.
This guy does a pretty good job. Imagine the scores some of these guys would get if there were flat gutters.
Oh.
2 9s for Bob. Steve Vadney trying to make something happen, and look at that. Maybe one of the best balls he's thrown all day.
I think so. But the 5-10 left.
Oh, wow. He almost made that happen. Thought he had it. It's a 9. Steve from Claremont, New Hampshire, works for Sturm Ruger. Does most of his bowling at the Sunset Lanes in Newport. Steve and his wife Annette have a daughter Jennifer and a son Stevie. And this will be something a little better to shoot at. For the spare.
Spare in the 6th. Mark strikes.
Yeah, mark number 8 for Vadney and Kaufold, all spares. And they've had openings here in this third game. And they may continue to. All of a sudden, any thought of the 150 or the final score or anything like that is out the window for Larry and Bob. They just want to make sure they preserve this lead. $7 for Larry, and that's a $5 drought now for the team. They have just the 1 mark back in the 2nd in this game.
What happens? 135, 145, and then all of a sudden the roof caves in and you can't seem to buy a mark.
Oh, my. For the team of Valcourt and Kelly now, Dan, just 1 mark in the last 10 boxes, and during that time, Vadney and Kaufold have had just 3. So they haven't really been able to take advantage. That'll be a 6-box, a 7 and a 6 for Larry Valcourt. Well, if Bill Kaufold were to throw a double strike here,
yeah, this is
or even a couple of big marks,
certainly would wake the crowd back up.
Oh boy.
3 or 4 times now he's hit the head pin. He's gone straight through the middle.
$8 for Bill. So the lead is now 43, but it's got to be strikes. A lot of spin on that ball for Bill Kaufold.
Imagine that, right through the middle again. The last 5 or 6 boxes he's bowled. After this one, he's not going to worry the rest of today anyways.
Another 8. So the difference 41, and obviously they do the simple math. Anything more than 19 pins in these 2 boxes for Bob Kelly closes the match out.
Two, 4, 6. No wood. Got it.
Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden, we should mention what looked like seemingly a lock for a 400 triple is not at all that. Bob and Larry had 280 coming in.
No, in fact, he'd have to throw strikes to make it.
Almost. 8 fill. That's 99. Plus a chance for a spare in the 10th. 99 including the 8 that he's got here in the 10th. No. So it will not be a 400 triple, but it will be a win for Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt. And just for good measure, Bob just cuts the 5 into the 7 for the $10 and throws his hands up as if to say, why now? 101 and 381 for the team of Kelly and Valcourt. Steve Vadney now, his final 2.
Yeah, they're going to start going now.
Everywhere. Knocked 7 pins down, and 5 of them are on the plate. Nope. And the 10. Well, coming into a third game trailing by 52, all you can hope for is that your opponent throws maybe about a 101 and hope that you catch fire, but it just didn't happen for Steve and Bill.
Half of it happened. 101.
That's right. There's the spare in the 10th. The 9th mark of the day, all spares for Steve and Bill. 104 plus 8 for 112 and a 3-game total of 340. The champions Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt. Congratulations all around. We'll be back to award the checks and talk about tomorrow's singles championship match in a minute. Welcome back to the Londonderry Bowling Center. The first half of our championship weekend is in the books. Let's bring up our runners-up, Steve Vadney and Bill Kaufold. Not in the cards for them today, but they were our #1 seeds, so they had some guaranteed checks coming their way, and there they are, gentlemen, splitting the $400 second prize money. And well, you did have an opportunity there in the third game, but you just never could get it started.
No, they gave us the opening, and then we were on the head pin, but it just wasn't too good. A little full, and we weren't getting the breaks.
Boy, how many times right through the middle, or just a good-looking first ball, it seemed, and nothing to shoot at?
Yeah, you know, you got to have a few breaks. You get off the head pin, and if once in a while you get away with one, and then you know, you get back and you hit in the pocket pretty good, and you leave 5 10s or 4 horsemen's, and you get all but one. You know, you got to get a break now and then. But
well, I have a feeling we'll be seeing both of you again before too much longer. But congratulations, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bill Kaufold and Steve Vadney. And now let's bring up our champions, Bob Kelly and Larry Valcourt, splitting the $800 first prize money, and of course the automatic qualification into the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions. There you go, guys. And the final count of 381. I know you're probably a little disappointed at that. It could have been higher, but I guess you had to worry about hanging on for the win there at the end.
Yeah, gasping for air at the end there. I don't know what the heck happened, but all those doubters that say I can't hit a single pin, I got that one in that mark, so there you go.
Well, you had everything rolling, it seemed, the first 2 games, and then it's funny how both team members can sometimes go hot and cold at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. It just all of a sudden it just stopped. Boom, it was over. It's a good thing we had a big lead.
Well, it's a 3-string match. Perhaps you didn't know that, but 2 was enough, I guess, for this one. The 2 big ones to start it. Congratulations, and now you can sit back and enjoy the fact that you'll be back in the spring for the Tournament of Champions. Congratulations, guys. Nice job, Larry and Bob. Congratulations. We'll see you again soon. And Dan Murphy will slide back on in here, and we've got another championship match coming on tomorrow, and that'll be another 1-against-2 matchup. And boy, again, it's very, very tough to figure sometimes. But this team, Bob Kelly, Larry Valcourt, they had everything going last week. And for the first 2 games this week, no reason to believe they might not do it again in the third game. And then it just all of a sudden stopped, as Larry said, and they were fortunate to hang on to win.
Well, that's it. It didn't happen for Steve Vadney and Billy Kaufold, luckily for them. But you never know in this game. It's a humbling game sometimes.
Indeed it is, as we've learned so many times. Well, we hope you'll join us tomorrow at 12 noon for our singles championship match. And then, of course, next weekend, starting Saturday at 12 noon here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, a brand new series to start the month of December. So until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good weekend, everybody.